Minor grading loss noted from the bottom of the sweep at 1 feet to 6 feet. Alrighty, so we're actually kind of stuck in turns here at about 46 feet. Here at 44 feet, we have our floor access, but that is unfortunately buried under boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff. So we're going to pull out and we're going to reset up at the Studer vent next to the furnace, and we're going to try and get out through that Studer vent. Alrighty, so just as reference, that is our initial access point. Here is the student event we were trying, and underneath all of that is where your floor access is. Your furthest back points over there are coming across the floor here, heading out that side there. That would be the wall of your garage, and then over in that direction is the front rock patch with the single sweep access. We're going to go ahead and try and go in through here. Yeah, there's just too many turns between this access point and the transition point to finish off the interior today. I'm going to recommend that the line be re-inspected after all that stuff is moved, so we can actually view the transition point. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set back up outside, and we're going to do things from the outside camp to the main, and we're going to recommend that once the furniture and all the boxes and other stuff are moved, that the line be inspected from the floor access to view the transition point. Alright, to get the camera upstairs, I'm going to have to disconnect it from the monitor here, so things are going to go black for a moment. We are back. We are outside. Here is our single sweep. There is our home cul-de-sac. Yeah, this is the wall we're coming out of. The back behind the garage and the basement on this wall, that is where our outside access is going to be, and that's the floor access, and that's where all the stuff for the current tenants is stacked up. But we're going to go ahead and hop into here. We're going to view from everything out there to the street, and we're going to recommend that the furniture be moved, the line re-inspected to view everything from there, from that point on the outside and inside, to here. We have pretty consistent, pretty thick grease levels throughout. So I'm also going to recommend a hydrojet just to get all this removed. Typically, we recommend that these be cleaned every 5 to 10 years, depending on lifestyle, and it looks like the current residents are looking to be on that 5-year cleaning plan. Alrighty, we have our city tap here at 78 feet, and that is from the outside clean out. That is not counting the 45 feet of internal line and maybe the 40 or 50 so feet that we are missing along the side of the house up along the garage. So I'm going to go ahead and flush some water. We're going to recommend that clean, the rescope, and have that all done from we want the clean done from the kitchen line at the back of the house out to the main. But to have this re-inspected, you're probably going to need to go in through that floor access just because there's so many twists and turns. I tried going in through the closest clean out and the Studer vent. Both access points are closer to that transition point, and we got bound up in turns. So definitely make that floor access accessible and get that re-inspected from that point. Alrighty, and that water is pretty deeply discolored, showing that even at the back of the house where I flushed this toilet from, we are running through a lot of grease. So absolutely get this line cleaned. But as far as the structure for the stuff we could see today, everything that we looked at today looked pretty good, structurally speaking. We had some minor grading loss inside from that sweep. In total, we had about 7 feet of grading loss between the 2 points, neither of which is holding water, slowing flow, or debris. It's just a bit of a flatter area, so I'm not immediately concerned about those. What I am interested in learning about is what that transition point looks like. That is one of the things we could not see today on this scope, and the primary reason we want those boxes and all that furniture moved so that someone can access that floor access and view the transition point and make sure that is in good condition.